Well, all right then. So I've just finished my brunch and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what can I do today? That would be productive. I mean, I do have a list of things I have to do. I was thinking maybe I could read a chapter or a page from La Maison Bleu. Remember, I don't know if you've been following me, but that's that time I tried to buy a house in Normandy. And I think, look, I mean, at least I got a book out of it, right? I mean, I got a book out of it. But I mean, that was a very interesting experience. Let's read a chapter, a page, just a page out of this book. So it's called La Maison Bleu, the year I spent trying to buy a French country house in Normandy, France. And this is a true story. Obviously, it's got marks all over it because I'm my own editor. I don't have an editor. So, it's on Amazon. And so every now and then I read it and I see something and I'm like, oh, so I have to fix that. Okay, so chapter one, December 21st, 2020. Wow, that's a long time ago already. What happened to time? So December 21st, 2020, it was a few days before my birthday, which luckily for me happens to be a few days before Christmas. I was feeling restless and cooped up due to the involuntary incarceration brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. The Macron government in France had imposed a whole lot of restrictions on the distance we could travel to curb the propagating and deadly virus. People could not go more than 30 kilometers or something like that from where they lived without authorization. I had heard that a lot of people were cheating by taking off to their secondary homes in the middle of the night despite the orders from the Elysee. Some went to the north and others went to the east. Some went to the west and others to the south. One of my students had taken a sabbatical from his job for 3 months and had gone off to his parents' home in Biarritz. Most of my classes were being conducted by Zoom, and with so many or so few opportunities to leave my flat, I began to experience acute spring fever in December. It was like 2 likes. Oh, I just saw another typo. It was like I was on the verge of losing my mind. It took me years to see that typo. Oh my gosh, how many times have I read that I didn't see that I had 2 likes there? I mused that I could take my chances and say, take Flixbus to Nice. I knew that I risked undesirable encounters with the police and gendarmerie by going that far. A lot of people had received verbalizations to the tune of €135 a pop for violating the distance confinement, and others, repeat offenders, had been thrown in jail. I was not a bold one who wanted to brave those types of encounters, nor was I into taking stupid risks that could cause me to lose my visa. Nor did I have financial means or the financial means to pay €135 to one of the richest governments in the world for behaviors that I could easily avoid when I barely had enough money to eat. Some things never change, right? I need to stop saying that though and speak more with an abundance words and not scarcity words. No, forget Nice. I would have to go someplace else, but where? The furthest I figured I could go without risking a fine or worse was Normandy. I love Normandy. I had visited Le Havre a couple of months I had visited Le Havre a couple of months before the pandemic hit, and I had been thinking that it was a part of the country I could totally relocate to given the right opportunity. I had also visited Rouen, Amiens, technically not in Normandy, but close by, Honfleur, Trouville, and Deauville in the last 12 months. But there were many coastal Normandy towns I still wanted to check out, like Caen, Dieppe, Camembert, Etretat, Cabourg, Saint-Vaast-la-Hougue, Bayeux, Omaha Beach, and Yport. Most of these towns were about 2 hours from Paris by SNCF trains. I just needed to roll the dice and pick one. It sounded like a plan, but then again, it seemed like a waste of precious time to ride all the way to Normandy for no apparent reason other than to see what was there. Was there anything I could do in Normandy once I was actually stateside that was actually constructive and productive? I was not a spring chicken with a lot of time to waste, And the one lesson I had learned from the whole pandemic cauchemar is that life is short and totally unpredictable, and you better seize the day. You better make everything count. You better do everything you can. So, what did that mean? That meant that I had to make my little excursion to Normandy as productive a trip as possible. Surely I could do more than go look at the boats in Ypres. What could I do in any of these little towns in the dead of winter that was productive and entertaining at the same time? Look at Christmas lights? Maybe. Maybe I could check out Christmas lights on all the chateau and farmhouses and get inspiration for my flat. Actually, maybe I could do better. I had been secretly in the market for a little old French country house, had been for years. Why not go check out real estate? I mean, I was poor and had no money. I need to stop saying that. And real estate agents famously scorned me. But what did that matter? I could dream. I had a small cache of cash in the bank. It was enough to pay 10% on something under 100K. Maybe the time had come to take a fresh look at what was out there. I decided to do a web search for houses up in Normandy. I executed a search for a little Normandy stone house, petit, prix. Would it be in Haut Normandy or Basse Normandy? I didn't really care. So long as it was in Normandy, and so long as it had tiles on the floor, and so long as it had a fireplace that worked, it was good enough for me. My filtered search yielded a darling little house in a small medieval Basse Normandy village named Orbec. The village looked adorable in pictures, and the house, the interior of it, there were no exterior shots online, looked like it had potential, and you couldn't beat the price. They were asking for 69,000 euros for a four-bedroom house. What? That's so funny. In retrospect, that's very funny. But then it wasn't so funny. You know what I mean? But anyway, the book is available. That's it. I'm not reading any more of this because I don't want to bore you to tears. But the book is available on Amazon. Okay. And yeah, I mean, I have so many books I have to read. It's really amazing. Um, I have to do my nails and I have to take care of my chapped lips. But anyway, the book is available on Amazon. It's called La Maison Bleu by Marion T.D. Lewis, and yeah, it's a year that I took trying to buy a house up in Normandy for $69,000. And no, I didn't get the house. I did not get the house. So